Hello, dear bros. Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Today, I'm gonna let you guys know how to get a collection that smells insanely expensive for not as expensive much monies. Money's spend low, it smells expensive. Also gonna do a giveaway, hook you guys up with a couple of fragrances as well, so yeah. We're talking mega hype fragrances, whether on YouTube or TikTok or just in general, and then much more affordable alternatives that will have you smelling just as good. All of these will be linked in the description down that way. Technically, I'm pointing to Craig Jr., the table, which you guys never see, but he's down there. He's holding it down. Every time I say Craig the table, I realize there's like people seeing this channel for the first time who are like, what is this moron talking about? I held a vote, that's the name of the table. It's what it is. But yeah, everything is down there in the description. Let's begin. Ho, ho, ho. Let's start with an alternative to the fragrance Gisa Imperial Valley. Now, this is a scent that's actually been out for years and super popular in the Middle East, but it just recently really started to catch on TikTok. A lot of people on there right now just really hyping it up hardcore. And to be fair, it was harder to find in the US until more recently. Nowadays, there are some different discounters where it started to pop up. I mean, it's still relatively expensive, but it is way more affordable to pick it up now than it used to be. But if you want to get that fragrance on the cheap, my friend, check this one out. This is from Fragrance World. It's called Sultan the Founder. And they even kind of sort of are trying to get like the same bottle style going on to an extent, or at least like bottle shape. Maybe we'll say that, in the sense that it's long and cylindrical. Now, as I said, this one right here smells similar to Imperial Valley. And actually this fragrance itself right here was a little bit difficult to find for a while. It was one of those ones that wasn't in stock at discounters very often, and then it would pop in and out of stock. But nowadays you can find it a lot easier. So it has this nice kind of rubberized feel at the bottom. The presentation itself actually pretty nice for an affordable fragrance. Another one that smells similar to Imperial Valley is Hawass Fire. That one is, it's not as close, like this one is closer, but Hawass Fire is kind of in that vibe as well. And if you have never smelled any of these fragrances, Hawass Fire, this one, Imperial Valley, none of them. Imperial Valley is a fragrance that has kind of an interesting note breakdown. So off the top, it's fresh, it's a little bit sweet. You've got bergamot, you have pink pepper, but then as it dries down, there's leather, there's oud, there's amber. And so you see that and you think, it's gonna be like really dense and funky. And there is a density to it. There's a little bit of a dark aspect and a touch of funk as well, but really that freshness carries through also. So it's this interesting kind of fragrance that does give you wearability, but also kind of its own vibe at the same time, where it's not smelling like just another blue fragrance or something. Next up, we're gonna talk Bianco Latte, which is a sweet, sweet fragrance. There's vanilla, there's tonka, there's caramel. So yeah, this one is one of those ones where it's like sweet, plus sweet, and maybe you just throw this out there, a little more sweetness. Basically diabetes bottled. That's what we got going on. And it's also strong. Oh, and there's also honey, because like I said, we gotta get that beatus. And there are a few different fragrances that you could go with for this one. Eclair by Lattafa, very popular, that's a great choice. I'm gonna go with this one though, Galatia. This is by Elixir. They took it to the next level. They saw everything being named Elixir and they were like, throw a V in front of it and that's our brand name. Run with it. Presentation is pretty nice though. All their fragrances come in the same bottle style, same plaque style. Looks good, feels nice in the hand. And actually these have been getting a bunch of hype on TikTok as well. They've been doing a little bit of what I like to call advertising. What do you mean? I thought 10 people discovered it all at the exact same time. What are you talking about? What? This one is from Indonesia, so a little bit different than your typical Dubai-based clone house. And this one is extremely well done, again, as long as you want something that smells like Bianco Latte. It has kind of like a melted vanilla ice cream vibe when you first spray it on. I would say this one is unisex, probably leaning a little bit feminine, just like Bianco Latte, because that's not really a fragrance that's typically thought of as a masculine-leaning fragrance. And of the Elixir fragrances that I have smelled, this may be the strongest one. It packs a pretty big punch. And this is a brand that I'm gonna have my eyes on because yes, they launched it and everybody's talking about it. But if they continue to come out with things that are really nice and they come out with them relatively quickly so that they don't just kind of become forgotten, they could be a player. But I'm sure they don't want to be called that because they're not a player, they just crush a lot. Oh, terrible. At least some of you out there know what I'm talking about. Other people are gonna be like, what do you mean? God of Fire. Tell me if you've heard of that fragrance before. Yeah. Been everywhere. There's a billion different alternatives to that fragrance at this point. I will point out for like the 50th time that I feel like Joe Milano is overpriced. They have one called Roll It 1, but it is like 2 to 3 times more expensive than every other cologne out there. It's not that it smells bad, it's just for the price, it's not that much better. God of Fire, of course, really well known for mango off the top. That's probably the thing people know about it the most. And then has a nice like woodiness as it dries down. Super easy to wear, big compliment puller. But getting back to Joe Milano, to me, Joe Milano is the Invicta watches of the clone game. And here's what I mean by that if you don't know. Invicta watches always are like, hey, this is $900, but wait. It's marked off to 200 just for you, big dog. And that's like every single watch that they have, right? And so you get people who don't know any better and they have people kind of in their ear like, hey, this Invicta watch, $900, but it's marked off. Here's the deal, it's always marked off, and realistically those watches should be cheaper than they are, but they're tricking you by price anchoring. What that means is even if it's not consciously, subconsciously, people who don't know any better will see that price, $900, $800, $500, whatever, and they'll see the slash through it and then the price underneath and be like, dang, I'm getting a deal. Even if they know in their heart that those watches are always marked off, they see that price above, you know, that the slash through it and they're like, good deal. Joe Milano does this same thing. They'll put their fragrances out $280, $300, whatever, always with a slash through it, and then it's like $70, $80 at discounters, and people will go like, well, retail, this stuff says $280. I'm not paying $280, I'm buying it for $80. That's a good deal. And again, I'm not saying that they're terrible quality, but I'm saying that's what they're doing. And that allows them to charge you more for their fragrances when other clone brands would charge you 30 or 35 or something like that. It's just something I don't vibe with in a huge way. I went on a tangent. The next fragrance is from a Rabiat Prestige. It is Kohl Luminous. So this is actually my newest pickup that smells similar to God of Fire. It is really, really well done. It has more of a sweet aspect. So mango sometimes can have a funk to it. It can have like a little bit of a an off-putting, almost body odor-esque kind of scent profile to it. And that's mentioned sometimes with fragrances that don't even have mango as a note, but people will say, oh, it's got like a mango funk to it. That's what they're talking about. This one doesn't really go that direction. It keeps things slightly more sugared, a little bit sweeter. It avoids that aspect of the mango. Extremely wearable, nice like fizziness, brightness, and really, really good quality as well. All right, the next one is kind of cheating because as of when I'm filming this video, it's very, very difficult to get your hands on in the US unless you know somebody who's gonna be able to like send it to you. It is Liquid Brun Limited Edition. Now it's gonna be out soon. It's gonna hit all the discounters and all that stuff, but like right this second, a little hard to find. So you could just put normal Liquid Brun in here and that would work as well. Now this is an alternative to PDM's Althair. Now the reason I have this one here instead of the original is this stuff outperforms the original Liquid Brun by a lot. Off my skin, this stuff is louder, it lasts longer, it smells deeper, more complex, has a great lightly smoked vanilla aspect. Instead of feeling just like sweet with sweet, this one has additional things going on that give it a little more interest, a little more texture. And so I think right now, if you're looking for an Althair alternative and you can get your hands on this, this is the one to own for me. It is also slightly bigger. So there is that. I'm talking just the bottle. The bottle is bigger. It's a bottle from Texas. I think, you know, because everything's bigger in Texas. Or, well, I don't know. The next one is a must-own, hard stop, period. But before that, codes, here they are. Because if you're shopping for niche fragrances, clone fragrances, or designer fragrances, you should not pay the maximum amount. And these codes can save that money. So we got codes for JOMASHOP, Gift Express, the Perfume Box, Frag, Flex, and many more. Any of these stores, use them. Use these codes. Look at those stores. You see those names? Use those codes. The next fragrance is an elixir of the Assad variety, Latafa. This is a clone of Boss Bottled Absolute. And look, Boss Bottled Absolute needs a doctor called for it because it's sick. Yes, it is sick. Bottled Absolute, perfect. Similar in some ways to Parfums de Marly's Carlisle, talking about Bottled Absolute, just a perfect, elegant, classy, sophisticated men's fragrance. Great for fall, winter, and evenings. Has a really nice patchouli note in there, does Boss Bottled Absolute. And while that does carry over a bit here with the Assad Elixir, the patchouli is actually, to me, toned down a little bit here in the Latafa. Instead, they try to smooth it out, make it a little bit easier to wear day to day, less of an special occasion type fragrance, more of an anytime you want fragrance. Also has a nice little touch of tobacco as well. So while I may still lean toward Bottled Absolute as being the superior fragrance when you consider the price point and everything else, and also the added usability, Assad Elixir still absolutely crushes. The next one is this one, Muhareb. It is by Gulf Orchid / Maison Asrar, and it smells similar to Xerjov's Naxos. Also a very good one, Fierté Luna by French Avenue. So this captures that Naxos vibe very closely, that sort of lavender aromatic classy masculine opening that dries down to more of a honeyed tobacco. So it opens up more like a spring fragrance, spring early fall, and dries down more like a fall evening type of scent profile, potentially winter as well. Quality much higher than you would expect. As I said, Fierté Luna quite similar to this and Naxos as well. And there is this one also. This is by Atralia, Magma Ember Dusk. And this one has been getting a push on TikTok. And I will say easily of the 3 Naxos clones that I mentioned, this one has the best atomizer. It is way better than the other ones. Check this out. I will also say the box is cool. It looks kind of funky like lava, and check this, a magnetic top to the box. Sick. My favorite thing, magnetic caps on a bottle. Now we got magnetic caps on a box. But the issue is, of those 3 fragrances, I think the actual fragrance, this is the worst one. And I will explain to you why. It has kind of a synthetic sweetness when you first spray it on that the others don't have, that Naxos doesn't have. Almost like a slight syrupy kind of vibe. As it dries down, it becomes more powdery, you get more florals that come out. And at times off skin and also off a tester strip, those florals come across like indolic white florals. So they have that very slight touch of like almost mothballs. And it's underneath everything else. It's not like it's punching you in the face and making your eyes water. That's not what's going on. But if you lean in close, you get a big whiff. You'll be like, ooh, yeah, there it is. The others don't have that. So while this one is getting that marketing hype, and this one does have the much better atomizer in the super cool box, the fragrance itself, I think, is just not as good. Now, if you're looking for Naxos with a twist, that one definitely is more of a twist than the other 2. The other 2 are kind of like trying to just be Naxos, a lot closer to the real deal. That one is definitely different. The next fragrance is Assad Elixir, and there are a ton of alternatives for that fragrance out there. It's an extremely popular scent profile, kind of this honeyed, lightly minty sort of vanilla vibe with even a faint hint of tobacco in there as well. Just really good for fall and winter time. And I'm gonna go with this one to replace that Rayhan's Elixir. I think when you factor in price point, quality, performance, all that stuff, that Rayhan Elixir is easily one of the best Assad Elixir alternatives that you can get. It's gonna give you that wearability, that complement factor that the original has. And in typical Rayhan fashion, it is quite strong. So it's going to project, it's going to last a very long time. Let's hop next to an Armaf, but not a Club de Nuit. That would be the most obvious choice, right? Instead, let's get an alternative to Bond No. 9 Scent of Peace for Helm. This one right here, Blue Sky by Armaf. Pretty affordable, actually. Like when you look at the presentation, you might think to yourself, that might be one of Armaf's more expensive ones, but it's really not. Under 30 bucks pretty much everywhere. And to be fair here, this is not the exact same as Scent of Peace for Helm. This is definitely more of a twist. Now, in case you're unaware of Scent of Peace for Helm, you're like, what even is that stuff? At one point in time, it was a massive hype beast. It was one of the most in-demand niche fragrances for men that you could get. Also, to be fair, at one point in time, Bond No. 9 was very, very big in men's niche fragrances online. People were talking about them a lot. Scent of Peace for Helm, bondno9.com, Bleecker Street, New Harlem, Shea Bond, just a lot of different releases. So Scent of Peace for Helm, it's kind of an Aventus fragrance. It's like similar, but different. A lot like Mancera Cédrapoisé is similar, but also different to Aventus. That's kind of like Scent of Peace for Helm. It could remind you of Aventus, but if you do a side-by-side, it's definitely not Aventus. This is similar to that Scent of Peace for Helm, but instead it is a little more, to me, focused on the fruit. So it's a little bit fresher, has more of that fruity sweetness, and off the top, it has like every fruit you could imagine almost. Apple, lemon, bergamot, mandarin orange, pineapple, black currant, like all of that is in here. As it dries down, you get ambroxan, you get vanilla, extremely easy to wear, great versatility. Now we need an Angel Share type fragrance. Angel Share / Gisa Sava, and there are so many of them out there. I mean, basically just pick your favorite clone brand and they will have an option for you. But I'm gonna go with this one. It is Shroff Blend by Zamaya. This is the original Shroff Blend, because they did come out with a new one, which is kind of like a hybridization of Angel Share Paradise and Angel Share on the Rocks, but this is the OG. And this could absolutely remind you also of Lattafa's Kamra. But Shroff Blend has a lot to offer on its own. The performance is great. It projects quite well, lasts a long time. It's sweet, it's sexy. You've got praline in there, you have dates, you've got vanilla, tonka, amberwood, saffron, just very high quality, top-notch stuff. And before the giveaway, the final fragrance that we need an alternative to, PDM's Greenley. And I'm gonna go with this one right here, Lattafa's Sharif. This one is one of the newer alternatives to Greenley, and to me, the presentation looks cheap-ish. I mean, on camera, probably it looks fine, but when you hold it in your hand, like this is plastic up here, the bottle itself doesn't feel particularly great, but the fragrance itself smells really nice. And this basically takes more of a fresh take, fresh styling to PDM's Greenley. Not that Greenley is not fresh, because obviously it is, but this one leans more into that like almost sweet apple shampoo vibe, and it keeps things zingy and bright and fresh for longer than even the original. Perfectly done for spring and summer. Great daytime fragrance, office safe, and a big people pleaser as well. Let's do the giveaway. So since we're doing Greenley over here, gonna do Greenley right here. This is Ether Extrait by French Avenue, which is the OG Greenley alternative. And then also Glacier Bold over here by Maison Alhambra. Got that LeBeau vibe going on, very obviously. So those are the fragrances. If you wanna be entered in the giveaway, here's what you do. Like the video, be subscribed to the channel, leave me a comment, please. If you do not comment, how can I choose you? So in the comment, let me know what you feel is the best cheap alternative to an expensive hype fragrance. I'll pick a winner with random comment picker and post it up on the post tab with a bunch of other winners. And then all you have to do is hit me up and I will ship these both out to you. There's a little rip in the cellophane of this one, but it's still unopened. All right, guys, that'll do it for me. Thank you for hanging with me here until the end. We almost made it through another year. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.